What does free speech really mean in our world today? Hello there, you awakening wonders. It's me. Welcome to my channel. Let's talk about what is free speech. We like to think we have it here in the USA. You know, we say, my country, TIs of the land of the free. Well, what does that really mean? You can go online and find out what the definition is. But let's break it down, shall we? Free speech, the right to speak without censorship or restraint. The right to say what you think about the government, the right to say what you think about your neighbor. So many people believe that they have the right to free speech, but then they want to take away the free speech of someone else because maybe their opinion is different than theirs. Free speech means you have the right to remain silent. It also means you have the right to say what's on your mind. Freedom of speech doesn't mean that there are no consequences for your words. You can't go around spreading hate speech and then be surprised when people are upset at you. There are limits to free speech. The limits are where your speech ends and someone else's rights begin. Where do you think those rights begin? Not with you, it's with others. I'm gonna tell you something that might shock you. It's not popular these days to say things that are unpopular. That's called free speech. Now, if you work for the government and you say something that the government doesn't like, well, you might lose your job. People are actually being fired for not getting a vaccine. Some would argue that that's not free speech, but I would argue that it is. If you don't want to get the vaccine, you have the right to make the decision for yourself. And if you are being forced to choose between getting a medical procedure that you don't want to get and losing your job, that's a difficult place to be put in. And it's even a more difficult thing to talk about. I'm not saying one way or the other which is the right thing to do. All I'm saying is that you have the right to decide that for yourself. That's what free speech means. You have the right to speak your mind as long as you are not hurting anyone else in the process. Free speech doesn't mean that you can yell fire in a crowded theater and cause a panic. It doesn't mean that you can spread rumors about someone and damage their reputation. It doesn't mean that you can incite a riot or loot a store. Those aren't free speech. Those are just some examples of what is not free speech. You have the right to disagree with the government. You have the right to disagree with your neighbor. You have the right to keep your mouth shut. That's also free speech. So many times we think that free speech only applies to what we say, but it also applies to what we listen to. You have the right to listen to any music you want, read any book you want, watch whatever movies you want, as long as it's not harming anyone else. Your actions, they speak so much louder than words. Be kind. Be excellent to each other. That's what I have to say about this topic.